Hello again. So we're going to start near the fire because it's freezing cold today. But if anyone is thinking of coming to see us, nice and warm in here. So what I want to talk to you about today is some Beswick figures. So Beswick was founded in 1894 by James Wright Beswick. In 1934 was the introduction of high-fired bone china, which meant the possibilities of high-quality figurines such as the famous racehorses and dogs. In 1939 they began producing farm animals. In 1947 Lucy Beswick suggested Beatrix Potter books, and they secured the rights in 1948 to start producing the Beatrix Potter figures, the very first being Jemima Puddleduck. Now I have an example of that here, but this is not for sale. I have to make that absolutely clear. This belongs to Debbie, this was Debbie's mother's, and it won't be up for sale at any point in time. Well, what you've got there is Beatrix Potter, 1948, and as I say, Jemima Puddleduck was the first of the Beswick figures from the Beatrix Potter range. This one's been battered a little bit. There's a little bit of chip there, and you can see it's been super glued. But you get the idea there. You've got this beautiful little Jemima Puddleduck. So back to the storyline then. And in 1952, they moved on and started doing Disney characters. In 1969, Beswick sold out, and they sold to the Dalton and Company Limited. And by 1989, the Beswick back stamp was dropped in favour of Royal Dalton being stamped onto the figures at that point. In 2002, Dalton even ceased production of all the Beswick products, and in 2003, the Gold Street Works, where they were all produced, was sold off and flattened by a property developer. The name Beswick is now owned by Darlington Crystal, who now produce animal figurines under the name John Beswick. And they still produce some of the figures like the snowman and other nursery figures, things like that. So what we've got in the shop though is 4 examples of some Beswick horses. So we can have a look at these, and you can see, there we go, Beswick England is stamped underneath, and we were talking about the differences in the stamps earlier. This one, I'm not entirely sure, as I say, it's a horse. I'm not big on horses, so I couldn't tell you what sort of horse it is. This one, very kindly, has got the words New Forest written on it, so I can tell you that's a New Forest pony, because it says so. Again, we've got Beswick England there, and we were talking about the stamps earlier. Now we've got all these figures up at £34 a piece. So I'm not a particular sort of knowledgeable on Beswick horses, so I don't know if I've got the prices, sort of if I'm underselling some of these. Now I can tell you that this little fella, this Shire horse, the grazing Shire horse this was called, I've seen these on eBay for £75, so I may well be underselling these, but we're working on the price that we paid for them, and we've put them all at £34 each. And again, the Beswick England stamp on there underneath. And the last one I've got you, I think, is called a prancing Shire horse. And you can tell he's got a bit of a gale in his tail there. He's got, and again, £34. As I say, I don't know if we're underselling those or not. And Beswick England is stamped on there. So they're all stamped with Beswick England. There's 4 of them in total, and they're all at £34 each. And those are what we've got. But hopefully you've enjoyed some of the history of Beswick. Thank you very much.